I still recall the precise moment my entire world shattered, not with a crash but a subtle notification, a soft ping from my husband's phone while he showered. I wasn't one to snoop through Daniel's phone. 15 years of marriage had forged what I believed was unbreakable trust. Yet that evening, something felt wrong. Daniel had been distant for months. Late nights, weekend work trips, a newfound focus on his looks. All the signs I ignored. His phone glowed on our bedroom dresser. A text preview from his assistant. Reservation confirmed at Vespera for Friday, 8:09 p.m. She'll love the private booth. I shouldn't have unlocked it, but instinct took over. That gut feeling your life's about to shift. My fingers, unbidden, entered his passcode. Our anniversary, cruelly enough. What I found wasn't just dinner plans. It was a hidden life. Messages, photos, plans for their future. Her name was Elise, from his law firm's PR team. Younger, stunning, and married. Clutching his phone, I couldn't breathe right. 15 years, our beautiful home, shared friends, dreams, all built on what now seemed like sinking sand. "Laura, seen my gray tie?" Daniel called from the bathroom, his voice so ordinary, as if he hadn't been dismantling our marriage text by text. "Second drawer," I replied, stunned by my calm tone while inside I screamed. That night, I lay beside him, his steady breathing, mocking my urge to confront him. Pride, or maybe instinct, stopped me. There was a smarter way to handle this betrayal than a tearful showdown where he'd just lie. Next morning, I kissed him goodbye, feigning normalcy. "Good luck with your pitch today," I said, knowing there was no pitch, just more lies. After he left, I called in sick to my university job teaching economics and began investigating my own husband. It was easy. Daniel had grown sloppy, trusting my faith in him. His email password hadn't changed. His calendar exposed everything, including Friday's client dinner at Vespera, the city's priciest restaurant. Then I found her full name in an email, Elise Whitaker. A quick social media search revealed her charming husband, Thomas, who ran a thriving design firm downtown. My first urge was to call him, but a frantic call would only let them spin more lies. No. This needed something they wouldn't see coming. Sitting at our kitchen island, staring at cold coffee, the plan formed. If Daniel wanted a special dinner at Vespera, he'd get one, with a twist. I laughed, a hollow sound echoing. In the kitchen where we'd vowed love, planned a childless future, dreamed dreams now dissolving. "You want dinner, Daniel?" I whispered. "I'll give you one you'll never forget." I called Vespera. The maitre d' was accommodating. Yes, they had a table Friday night, close to the private booth reserved under Daniel's corporate account. "A business dinner," I explained. Proximity could allow parties to merge later. He understood perfectly. Next, I contacted Thomas Whitaker without raising suspicion. As an economics professor, I had a plausible excuse: inviting successful entrepreneurs for guest lectures. I crafted a professional email about our executive speaker series, noting his innovative urban design work would inspire our grad students. "Could we discuss over dinner at Vespera Friday?" He replied quickly. Polite, intrigued, available. He didn't know his wife would be there, cozying up with my husband in that private booth, just a table away. Closing my laptop, the shock inside me hardened into something cold, clear, focused. For 15 years, I'd been the ideal wife, supportive, patient, understanding, building our life while Daniel wove his deceptions. Friday would change it all. Those 3 days before were eternal. I moved through our home like a ghost, seeing Daniel anew. How had I missed the signs? The way he checked his phone, thinking I didn't notice. The secretive calls in another room. The new cologne, sharper wardrobe. "Client dinner Friday," he said casually over Thursday breakfast. Don't wait up. These drag on. I nodded, buttering toast steadily. That merger thing? Exactly, he said, relief in awe, his eyes at my acceptance. Boring shop talk. I might go out too, I offered. A colleague suggested drinks. He barely heard, glued to his phone. Nice, honey. 15 years, and he couldn't fake interest for 30 seconds. Had it always been this way, or had I airbrushed his indifference to preserve our perfect image? That evening in our walk-in closet, I studied my reflection. At 42, I was still striking. Dark hair with minimal gray, trim from disciplined workouts. But I wasn't Elise, with her 28-year-old effortless beauty. I touched the faint lines by my eyes, wondering if this drove Daniel's betrayal. No, I stopped myself. This wasn't my aging or flaws. It was his selfishness, his disregard for our vows. I'd supported his career, moved thrice for his promotions, stood by during his mother's long illness, forgave the small betrayals, late nights, missed anniversaries, emotional distance, that now screamed warnings. Friday brought eerie clarity. I dressed for my business dinner in a sleek navy dress, professional yet flattering, with pearl earrings Daniel gave me for our 10th anniversary, and red heels he once said made me look like I was trying too hard. I left work early for softer. Waves at the salon. The stylist noted my calm. If only she knew the storm within. At home, I packed an overnight bag, stashed it in my car trunk. I wouldn't sleep beside Daniel tonight, no matter what happened. At Vespera, 30 minutes early, the maitre d', recognizing my voice, showed me the layout. My table had clear sightlines to Daniel's private booth. They wouldn't notice me unless they looked around. Your other party confirmed. He's coming, he said. I sat at the bar with a martini, watching the entrance. Daniel arrived first, 15 minutes early, nervous energy in every step, wearing the suit I'd picked for big client meetings. He was led to the booth. 10 minutes later, she arrived. Elise. Everything I feared. Young, radiant, confident in a fitted red dress, moving like she owned the world. Daniel stood, his face lighting up with adoration I hadn't seen in years as he took her hands, kissed her lingeringly. Something broke inside me. Not just the betrayal, but his happiness, his aliveness with her, absent with me for so long. Laura. Bennett? Thomas Whitaker stood beside me. Early 40s, solid, dependable, with dark hair graying at the temples, kind eyes, a warm smile. Mr. Whitaker, I said, shaking his hand. Thank you for meeting on short notice. Call me Thomas, he replied. Your lecture series idea intrigues me. If he only knew. The maitre d' led us to my table, perfectly angled to view Daniel and Elise, now holding hands in their booth. I tried focusing on Thomas, keeping up the professional charade, but my eyes drifted to Daniel pouring champagne, whispering something. That made Elise laugh brightly. Thomas unfolded his napkin. Tell me about this speaker series. Architecture and economics. Fascinating crossover. I launched into my rehearsed pitch, my peripheral vision catching Daniel's hand on Elise's. Knee under the table. Laura, you okay? Thomas's voice cut through. You seem distracted. Fine, I said, sipping water. Just end of semester stress. He nodded, then shared his latest project, a sustainable downtown complex. Passionate, unaware his wife was 20 feet away, feeding my husband her appetizer. I'm talking too much, he said, smiling self-deprecatingly. Tell me about your work. As I discussed my research, Elise excused herself, likely a bathroom break. My chance. Excuse me a moment, I told Thomas, who stood politely. My feet carried me into Elise's path as she returned. Recognition flashed in her eyes. She'd seen my photos in Daniel's office. You're Daniel's wife, she whispered. And you're Thomas's, I replied, nodding toward our table. Her face paled. Looking back, I'd been preparing for this since that text. What happened next was unscriptable. Please, Elise hissed, eyes darting to Thomas, oblivious at our table. Not here. Why not? I asked, voice steady. Perfect setting, romantic lighting, beautiful restaurant. You've been enjoying it. Her manicured hand grabbed my arm. Laura, I can explain. Can you? I removed her hand. Can you explain betraying that man over there, who doesn't know what's happening? Or having an affair with my husband? Her eyes teared. It's complicated. Always is, I said, smiling sadly. Love, marriage, loyalty, so complex. Behind her, Daniel noticed us, his face ashen as he half stood, unsure whether to approach. What do you want? Elise asked, voice trembling. The question jarred me. Revenge? Justice? To hurt them as they'd hurt me? Honesty, I said. Something my marriage has lacked longer than I knew. I glanced at Thomas, now watching us, puzzled. Your husband seems decent. Does he deserve this? Her face crumpled. No, she whispered. Neither did I replied. Daniel appeared behind Elise, panic-stricken. Laura, what are you doing here? Having dinner, I said simply. Like you. This isn't, he began. What it looks like, I finished. We're past that, Daniel. Thomas approached, confusion clear. Laura, everything okay? Do you know them? The moment froze. Daniel pleading silently, Elise terrified. I held the power to expose them publicly, to watch their lies implode, but something else had formed in me over 3 days. The most devastating response wasn't a scene, it was controlled. Thomas, I said calmly. Meet my husband, Daniel Bennett. Thomas's confusion deepened. Then his eyes shifted to Elise, trembling beside Daniel. And you know Elise, I added softly. Comprehension hit Thomas. Disbelief, then crushing understanding. Elise, he said, voice breaking. She couldn't meet his gaze. How long? He asked. Silence answered. Maybe we should talk privately, I suggested, noting curious glances from nearby tables. Daniel spoke. Laura, we need to talk. We do, I agreed. But not just us and not here. The maitre d' approached, sensing tension. Is everything all right? I smiled. Change of plans. Can you combine our reservations? We need a 4-person conversation. He didn't flinch. Of course, madam. He led us to a private dining room, arranged a table for 4, and left. We sat, Daniel and Elise on one side, Thomas and I on the other, the divide symbolic. How did you know? Daniel asked. Does it matter? I replied. I suppose not, he admitted. Thomas stared at Elise. Were you ever going to tell me? Her mascara streaked. I don't know. That's the problem with affairs, I said. They're a fantasy where reality never intrudes. Until it does. Daniel looked surprised. You're so calm. What did you expect? Wine in your face? A scene to call me hysterical? He looked ashamed. I've had 3 days to process, I continued. 3 days to see 15 years of lies. Elise's head snapped up. You planned this ambush? Yes, I said. And neither of you noticed anything off. Daniel, you kissed my cheek, asked about my day, lied about this client dinner without a flicker of guilt. I didn't want to hurt you, Daniel said weakly. Thomas laughed bitterly. Rich, you didn't want to hurt her while sleeping. With my wife? The waiter brought water and bread, retreating fast. I'd planned this perfectly. Table, Thomas, timing. But hadn't anticipated the weight of their lies. The realization my marriage was a facade longer than I'd admitted. "What? Now?" Elise asked, voice small. I pulled a hotel key from my purse. I booked a room across the street for myself. "I'm not sleeping in our bed tonight, Daniel." He looked stricken. "Laura, no. I'm not done. For 15 years, I was the understanding wife, rearranging my career for your promotions, forgiving your absences, believing your excuses. That ends tonight." I stood, placing the key down. "Thomas, I'm sorry you found out this way. You deserved better." He nodded, dazed. "Daniel, I'll be at my sister's this weekend. When I return Monday, be gone. Take what you need. We'll sort the rest later." "You're throwing me out?" he asked, incredulous. "No, you threw yourself out when you decided our vows were optional." To Elise, "He's yours now. No sneaking, no thrill, just a man who betrays commitments." I paused at the door. "Dinner's on Daniel's corporate card. You're familiar with it." I walked out of Vespera, head high, past my car, to the Grand Meridian Hotel. In my luxury king room, city view glowing, I let myself cry, raw, body shaking, sobs for the marriage I thought I had, the tainted 15 years, the future stolen by Daniel's double life. A soft knock startled me. Through the peephole, not Daniel, but Thomas Whitaker, as broken as I felt. "I'm sorry," he said, voice rough. "I couldn't go home. I didn't know where to go." I opened the door. "How'd you find me?" "You mentioned the hotel, across the street. Only one option. I asked for Laura Bennett at reception. Implied I was your husband. Sorry." Tonight, professional lines didn't matter. "Come in," I said. "I'm a mess." I gestured to my tear-streaked face. "Join the club," he replied, eyes red. We sat by the window, city lights below, silent. "Did you suspect?" he asked. Part of me did. Daniel changed, but I didn't want to see it. He nodded. Elise had late nights. Girls. Trips. I trusted her completely. "That's what makes it work," I said. "They use our trust." "What now?" he asked. I exhaled. Exactly what I said. I'm not taking him back. 15 years is why. This wasn't a one-time slip. It was deliberate. A year-long betrayal. He winced. "A year? God. You?" "I don't know," he said, raking his hair. 7 years. No kids, thankfully. But still. "You don't have to decide tonight." "But I can't unsee her with him," he said, voice cracking. I took his hand impulsively. 2 people bound by betrayal. Around midnight, he left for his own hotel. We'd talked for hours, not just about our spouses, but our lives, dreams, finding connection in shared pain. Morning brought frantic knocking. Daniel, unshaven in last night's clothes. "Laura, please, we need to talk." I let him in, keeping distance. "Alone? Or is Elise in the car?" He flinched. "It's over. I ended it last night. Biggest mistake of my life." "A year-long mistake," I noted. His eyes widened. "You knew how long." "I saw everything. Messages, getaway plans, the apartment you eyed together." He sank into a chair. "It was fantasy, not real. And that's better?" "No, but Laura, 15 years, you can't throw that away." "I didn't," I said. "You did, with every lie, every time you chose her." "I'll do anything. Therapy, transparency," he pleaded. I studied the man I'd loved, trying to reconcile him with the liar. "What's changed? You're not sorry for the affair. just for getting caught. That's not true, he insisted. I was tortured by guilt, planning to end it. Before or after the Napa trip you booked? The apartment deposit? His face fell. How do I fix this? You can't. Some things, once broken, stay broken. You're done? Just like that? Not just like that. After a year of you being done with me, pretending otherwise. He tried another tack. Our friends, families, the embarrassment of divorce? Embarrassment? I cut in. Your reputation? Our reputation, he corrected. People respect us. I laughed hollowly. I've handled that. I called your mom this morning, your brother, our friends Kate and Tom. I told them why I'm leaving. You had no right, he snapped. No right to tell the truth, I countered. I spent years building your image, Daniel. I'm not the villain now. He stood, phone buzzing. He glanced at it, then away. Elise? I asked. Missing you already? His silence confirmed it. Go, I said. She needs you more. Alone, I expected emptiness, but felt relief, like shedding a weight I hadn't known I carried. Phone rang. Thomas. Checking in. How are you? Better than expected, I admitted. Daniel came by. Elise keeps calling, he said. I haven't answered. What'll you do? I've known since last night, he sighed. I deserve better than lies. You do, I agreed. Breakfast? He asked. I could use a friend. My reflection showed puffy but clearer eyes. Sounds perfect, I said. Weeks later, lawyers, mediators, and painful asset splits followed. Daniel alternated between pleas and accusations of overreacting, but I stood firm, buoyed by newfound strength. Elise left town within a month, unable to face the social fallout. Daniel tried to keep their affair going, but the fantasy collapsed. Thomas and I met often, first for support through our divorces, then as friends, understanding each other's pain uniquely. 6 months later, at a riverside walk, sunset gilding the water, Thomas said, I never thanked you properly. For what? For exposing the truth, not ignoring it. You saved me from years of lies. I didn't feel brave then, just desperate. Whatever I felt, I'm glad it helped. Are you happy, Laura? He asked, pausing by the water. Not always, I admitted. Some days I grieve what I thought I had. He nodded. But mostly I'm grateful for the truth, for rebuilding on reality, not illusions. To truth, he said, taking my hand. I thought of the Laura from a year ago, blind to her marriage's reality, and the Laura sobbing in that hotel, thinking her life was over. We're stronger than we think, I said. When it all crumbles, we don't. He squeezed my hand. No, we don't. A year later, at a colleague's retirement party, I saw Daniel, older, weary. We exchanged stilted pleasantries before he pulled me aside. I never apologized properly, he said. Not really. I was too busy saving myself. And now I know what I lost. I'm sorry, Laura, truly. I felt no bitterness. I hope you find happiness, Daniel. He glanced at Thomas, laughing with colleagues. You seem to have. I'm building something new, I corrected. Day by day. Later, under starlit skies, I told Thomas, the worst night of my life led me here. Sometimes you lose everything to find what you need. I'm glad you booked that table, he said, smiling. So am I whispered. Betrayal wasn't the end. It was the painful start of a better story.